Porsche, 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 Porsche.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Clint Street Machines. Look what I bought. This is a 1986 Porsche 944. I have always loved 944s. I've always thought it'd be cool to own one. I never thought I would own one. And now I do. All right, so it looks pretty good on this side, right? It's obviously got some issues going on up front there. It's missing a bumper, and it looks like the hood's gone and some stuff sticking out of the hood. You can see a broken windshield. Boy, the birds murdered this thing last night. Yeah, it looks all right on this side, but as we come around the other side, oh, it does have the low visibility package back here. That's for stealth mode, I assume. And as we come around this side, oh, she's not looking so good. Oh, what's going on here? It was for sale up the street for over a month. I drove by it regularly looking at it, going, man, I should just call about it already. But I never bothered calling because, as you guys know, used car prices are stupid now, and I just assumed that someone would want a bunch of money for this thing. It turns out they didn't. Now, you might be fooled at first and think, well, it's got bucket seats in it. Those are worth like $500 by themselves. Except those aren't the original seats. I don't know what those are out of. They're cloth. They look usable. Hopefully we'll use them in our other project. But otherwise, we're just going to look at this thing and see what is going on, what is wrong with it. Now, when I first picked this up, I was thinking this might be a cool car to restore, even though parts are really expensive. It seemed like, that might be my way to get into a Porsche. So one of the reasons I never owned one is because they've always been cost prohibitive. Like even if I got a $500 Porsche, let's say, it's a shell. The tail lights are going to be $1,000 for everything you need to put them back in. I'm going to spend another grand or so on the front nose probably. Windshield's busted. That's a few $100 right there. There's just a ton of work that'll need to go into this. And this car was used as a parts car. So there's no brake calipers. There's no rotors. Those were removed because those have value. Like I said, the original Porsche seats were taken out and these cloth things were stuck in there. I'll show you those when we walk around the other side. The instrument cluster's gone. We'll get to the interior in a minute. But yeah, as we look at this thing, the whole front nose has been creased, crunched. This whole substructure here has completely been out of shape. And let's look at this, we got some damage even to the engine. That's how hard it got hit. So if we come over here, though, this is the reason I'm probably not going to bother with this car. If you come up here, you see it doesn't line up with the door. If we back up, you can really see it. There's a few things going on here. This isn't a nice even seam across here. What's going up is this roof is going up a little bit now, and it's been pushed in from the front a little bit, so this is buckled. And if you look, you see the buckle up here, like right here. You can see a buckle next to sunroof here, and you see the sunroof buckled down in the corner. So this car is actually bent. And if we open the door, which is kind of jammed, right here in the front where it doesn't line up, there's a nice big buckle right here too. So it would take some doing on a frame machine to get this to a point where it would be straight again. And that's just to fix the stuff I can just see with a naked eye. Once this thing got on a frame machine, it could end up the whole thing's bent. I don't know. But basically it looks like it got hit basically in the driver's side right here in the front corner. So it looks like it took an impact here. So I think what happened is this all got pushed up this way. This got pushed over. You can see that this moved a little bit right here. This all got moved. And I think what's going on here is that this actually got pushed over and in a little bit right in this area. And that's making it pop up here. So it's in pretty bad shape. Although it's got good quarter panels. I don't see any rust in this car. That's one good thing about it. It seems to be very clean. And here's something cool. One of the cool things about getting a new car is you get to learn a little bit about how they're put together. And I've never really taken apart a German-made car before. But here's something I'm noticing. This car is 37 years old. All this rubber undercoating is still rubbery and flexible. It's not chipping off when I do that. It just rolls over. It's still soft. That's impressive. 37 years and that stuff's still being soft. So whatever the Germans were using on this thing, it worked. So that's the kind of things I'm looking forward to learning about this car. Now that I know that undercoating works, I can figure out what they put on it and use it on my own vehicles. We do have a good hatch glass. That's a good thing. I think the sunroof will probably be okay, even though the roof around it's buckled. We'll have to find out. And this door still works pretty good. And check this out. These cars are known for how well their doors close. If I get the bird to shut up, you can hear it better. I mean, it's so nice. So anyway, here's the interior. It's pretty well shot. Door panels are in the back, but they don't look like they're in very good shape. These seats, like I said, are not out of this car. So I don't know what they're out of. There's a lot of stuff in here missing. All the controls for the sunroof, for instance. There's a ton of stuff missing. So this will probably not be a restoration project. Love that door. And this fender, even though it looks like it might be savable, is not. It's well, it's savable for somebody with extreme skills. Not me. All right, so what's the plan for this car? I think I'm just going to part it out. I usually don't part out cars. I try to save them whenever I can. But with the body being bent the way it is, and who knows how much damage has actually been done to it, it would take an awful lot of work to get this thing back into safe, condition where it could be rebuilt. All the factory stuff will bolt right on like it's supposed to. The alignment will go like it's supposed to, and the car's not going to fold up if it has another accident. It could be done on a frame table. Someone who has the equipment and the experience could easily straighten this out, I'm sure. But this car's just got so much wrong with it. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to try and restore it. To get this into decent shape, I have so many parts missing that I have to replace. I'm either going to have to go through and buy a few more parts cars, try and get the parts I need, and then I got to do the paint work and still got to have it straightened by a frame guy. I mean, by the time we were done, we'd probably have 6 to 10 grand just in parts in this thing. And the reality of it is, for a base model car like this one, like for instance, this has the 15-inch wheels instead of the 16-inch wheels. The car's got plenty of dings and damage on it that would need to be fixed, and there's not a lot of parts left, even though it looks like a complete car for the most part. It's definitely not. So I think this is one of those situations where the car would be better used to keep a bunch of other non-twisted cars on the road. So when I say I'm going to part it out, I don't mean I'm going to sell some cherry parts off of it and send most of it to the scrappers. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say I'm going to part it out, I mean I'm going to set it up on blocks and I'm going to sell everything off it. Floor pans, pieces of the body, pieces of whatever. I mean, every last part. I'll even sell nuts and bolts off of this thing for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, I don't like sending cars to the scrapyard, especially collectible cars. So I want to make sure this thing lives on through other cars. Secondly, we need to make some money for the channel. I've been preaching about it, and I didn't have 500 bucks to just throw around just to have another car in the yard. So we got to get that 500 bucks back, and then we got to try and make some money to get our other projects, keep our other projects moving forward is what I should say. Not get them moving, but keep them moving forward. So that's the plan. This is kind of like a test of me parting a car out in Tennessee and seeing how it goes. So I think we did okay on this thing. I think it's going to be a nice little addition to what we're doing around here. Unfortunately, it takes me away from working on other stuff while I'm taking this apart and listing it in parts on eBay or whatever we end up doing. But I think it was a wise investment, and I always have loved Porsche 944s. I mean, if we just take a look at this thing, I mean, look at the body lines on it. It's got the wide body hips on it. It's got that fastback window. Like the doors close and open great. From everything I've researched, these things have like practically a 50-50 weight distribution. They handle amazing. So, I mean, it's a Porsche. You heard the doors close and open. I mean, there's a build quality there you don't get with a lot of other cars. So I'm really looking forward to taking this thing apart and seeing how they built it, because I've only ever owned 2 other German cars before. I owned a Volkswagen Rabbit, a 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit. And that was when I was a lot younger, and the crank broke off the front and the harmonic balancer went bouncing down the road. And then I had not that long ago, right after we moved up to the Pacific Northwest, my wife and I bought a 2002 Volkswagen GTI with a VR6 in it. And that one, we just kept it bone stock and drove it and enjoyed it. Great car, but like I said, I didn't really work on it enough to get to know it. So it's going to be kind of fun, actually, to dig into this thing, take it apart, and see how the Germans build these things, especially a Porsche, which is known for quality and luxury and performance and whatnot. So really looking forward to tearing into this thing, getting to know it a little better. And honestly, I was talking to the wife. I have always wanted one of these, and now that I realize you can probably pick up a parts car for a reasonable amount of money, maybe I can put a few together and make one. So that might be a future project down the road for the channel. But right now we got other projects to focus on, and we're just going to try and turn this into some money and help out some other Porsche 944 owners. All right, so there you go. I just wanted to start including other car enthusiast activities into the channel, not just builds and talking about the builds, but actually some of the other stuff we do. to help perpetuate our hobby. So tune in for the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We really appreciate it, and you'll get to see us build our Pro Street S10. Maybe in a couple of months we'll get back on that one hard. I do have some other stuff going on with that truck that I'll update you with on our next update video. We also have the new project we're doing for the No Name Nationals, which is still in kind of mock-up, making sure it'll work phase, but we're really close. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, if you want to keep seeing content like this, or you want to see us building these other vehicles. And until I see you next time, take care of yourselves.